What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Paris and I make videos all about candle making and the starting and managing of my small candle business, Lady Simone Candle Co. Every brand have to start somewhere, right? Even yours, even mine. We all start somewhere. That's why it is important to invest and get your trademark, get your business name, trademark, or anything that represents your brand that you want it to be yours, to get that trademark. If not, it could result into you not being able to profit from the value that it can eventually hold, but you can also get into a lot of expensive trouble or issues or even legal issues. All issues that can be avoided once you begin to trademark your branding. So today we are going to dive in, talk all things trademarking, what that kind of looks like. So let's just get started. It's so funny, this topic is kind of right on time. I am actually in this process right now with my business, and I have done so much research and have learned quite a bit speaking with others, in this professional industry. And it's so funny that there's so many ways to get your trademark, get your name trademark, right? But a lot of those ways, from what I am researching and learning, is they're cheaper, right? Because you're not paying any attorney fees and things like that. Oh, get your name trademark in less than 10 minutes for this amount of money. But what happens is you can just go ahead and do like a quick preliminary search, right? To see if anybody has your name. You can get on Google, you can get on the trademarking websites and search and see that you can find it, and then you go ahead and invest the couple $100s to go ahead and get your business name or whatever branding trademark, right? But what happens is that preliminary search was not in depth enough to make sure that you had all of your bases covered and you did enough in-depth research, and then it ended up costing you thousands or even millions of dollars later in the future. And the reason why I'm bringing these topics now, because I know we're all small businesses and we're just getting started, but these are things that bosses have to think about, business owners have to think about. It's very, very important. There's so many candle makers out here, there's so many small business owners out here, and just because you decided to just do a preliminary research to make sure nobody has your name and nobody has the domain, and I think I'm good here, nobody has that .com name, doesn't necessarily mean that name is sufficient enough to be trademarked. Just because you were able to do it for a couple $100s, or you see that you can do it for a couple $100s, does not mean it's sufficient enough to make sure your whole entire branding is protected for whatever may come down the line. I know for me, my goal is to grow. My goal is to, really make an impact on the community. I really want to get in touch with more in the postpartum field and really, really target some different markets later as I grow. And so I want to make sure that my branding is protected. I'm going through a rebranding right now. I've posted that on my Instagram and things like that. So I'm really working hard behind the scenes to make sure my new branding is being protected. So let's dive right on in. We are going to talk about why it's important to invest in getting your business name trademarked the right way. Here are 7 trademark mistakes that every small business should avoid. Number 1, you've secured your trademark, but you didn't take the time to secure your domain or your social media profiles. This is tricky because you can get your branding or your business name trademark, but then you go to try to secure your domain and social media profiles and see that it's taken. And what happens is it can be very costly to try to stop them, right? Because it's social media. It's kind of a free-for-all basket. And so if you start developing content or posting content that has to do with your business name that you got trademarked, what can happen is when there's somebody else that has the same domain or the same social media profiles, it can confuse your customers, right? When they go to search. Because that's how people find you. They go, oh, let me see if she has an Instagram. Let me see if she has a Facebook or a Twitter or even a TikTok or whatever. And they begin to get confused. And it can be very costly because you didn't take the time to secure all the areas what your business name is going to be attached to. Not only trademarking, but you have to secure your domain, and you have to secure all your URLs and your social media profiles. Number 2, you didn't take the time to trademark your business name. Just because you registered your business name with your state does not mean your business is trademarked. Okay, let me say that again. Just because you registered your business name with your state, it does not mean you own that business name. It does not mean you are trademarked and it is absolutely yours. It does not mean that. Registering with your state just means you can operate and run your business in your particular state, collect taxes, all that jazz, right? But it does not mean that trademark belongs to you. You have to actually get your name registered and trademarked with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. I hope everybody hear me with that. I say that and I'm repeating that because I've gotten a lot of questions, and it can be very, very confusing because, well, I done spent all this money registering my name with the state. I done got my LLC. I should be good. No, baby, that don't mean that name is really, really yours. Anybody can still get dibs on your name and impersonate you and confuse your customers, which can potentially make you lose out on business, or it can cost a lot of money trying to stop them. So make sure you understand the difference between registering with your state to operate your business, but actually trademarking and completely owning your name. This one, number 3, may actually sound or make you kind of puzzle and pause, but it is true, and I've learned this. Number 3, a mistake that a small business can make is your name or your business name is too descriptive. A too descriptive name can actually be very, very hard to trademark, or it may not be able to get trademarked at all. So make sure you kind of understand the strategy behind choosing a suitable business name that you not only can love, but can have the potential to get trademarked. It's very, very tricky dealing with the trademarking issue because you don't want something too simple, but you also don't want something that can be too difficult to trademark. So come up with a nice a nice business name strategy, kind of hash out some names, talk to some professionals, or see if you can get some feedback to make sure that you have the best chance of getting your name trademarked. Mistake number 4, we assume that because we made up our name and came up with something super unique that ain't nobody never heard of before, that you immediately own it, and trademarking it is not necessary. Wrong. Just because you made up a name don't mean nothing. I would suggest, and what I'm sure any other professional would suggest, because you made it up, definitely get that trademark. That should make you want to trademark it even more because it's so unique and special and different. And that way, should somebody try to, be slick and impersonate you or try to take it, you can then have full rights to enforce and make sure you collect any type of damages or fees associated with them trying to impersonate you. So if you created something super unique, absolutely, that should be even more reason to make sure you get that trademarked and protected. You want to use all your rights to be able to enforce any type of action. Mistake number 5, you searched your name using the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office website. You've done an online search. You have not found any matches, so you assume your name is free to trademark and there shouldn't be any issues. That is a common mistake as well. I actually did a preliminary search and thought, okay, I'll be free to go. But when I actually connected with an attorney and had some really good conversations, I've learned that that's not necessarily true. Those steps are just the first steps in looking for your trademark, but there is a lot of in-depth research that goes into it. Furthermore, a lot of those free online search engines and online trademarking websites that are cheap or even free to use, they do not do a full comprehensive search on your business name. They do not go as in depth as they should, versus paying an actual attorney, somebody that is specialized in this area that can actually do a full comprehensive search. Yes, it's more expensive, but I rather scrape and save every business coin I have in order to invest in someone that I know is going to give me the best result, and make sure that when I do finally get my name trademarked, that all the searches have been done and I am fully protected. Should someone try to become another Lady C or a Lady Simone candle code, that I can absolutely use all of my rights and enforce protection on my business name that I own. So yes, it's more costly. A lot of those cheap and online sites, it just does not do your full search justice. So there you have that. Mistake number 6. Small business owners tend to think that if we use our first and or last name as our business name, that it's descriptive and we don't have to trademark it. That is actually incorrect. It's actually harder to trademark your first and or last name should you decide to use that as your business name, mainly because it's not unique enough, and it's actually considered weak because it's actually too descriptive, because it's your first and last name. Your first and last name, it's out there, right? It's attached to your social security number. It's attached to if you own your home, if you're your name is attached to everything, your banking information, everything. You use your first and last name for everything. You sign for it. You do all this stuff with your first and last name. So it's actually considered weak in terms of trying to trademark it, although it's not impossible. It just depends. You could kind of flip it and make it less descriptive, and some people have taken their first name and spelled it backwards and made it work and was able to trademark that. So it's not impossible, but just think about that if you're considering going that route. Last mistake, number 7, is we think that because we trademark our business name, we can kind of splatter that trademark onto any and everything that we use or put out or publish and things like that. That is actually incorrect. Whatever you trademark, say your business name, for example, that trademark is only attached to whatever services or physical goods that is described in your trademark application. That's why I do want to make a PSA and encourage you to work with an intellectual attorney of that sort that specializes in trademarking, because they can kind of make sure that your application includes everything that your business name will be attached to, any content that you plan to publish, any goods that you're shipping out, any future goods that you plan to release, that your trademark kind of extends itself to all of those goods and services that your business will handle. Because if not, then you cannot enforce any legal rights or anything on something else if it's not included in your trademark application. If your trademark does not extend to this particular goods or service, you cannot enforce that. There you have it. That is the end of this video. I hope you were able to learn some things, because these are all things that I've actually learned just in the last several months. Actually, since around November, I've learned literally all of these things after doing some research and, of course, talking to my network of professionals and who I'm working with. It is a very tedious process and it is expensive. However, I do want to encourage you to make sure not only you do your research, but do not rely on just the free or even inexpensive services out there on the internet. You do want to make sure you are doing a comprehensive search on whatever you want to trademark with your branding. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you would not be able to enforce any rights or any legal action should something happen down the line. In terms of trademarking and extending your trademark to other future goods and services, I know it's hard to think about that right now as a new business owner, but it's very, very important to at least get it in your mind how you potentially want to grow, what you want to offer in the future, how you plan to scale. And I say that because you want your trademark to be able to extend to all of those future actions and activities and releases and things like that. So that way, should something happen in the future, again, you can take legal action and have all rights too. I hope you were able to gain something from this video. This was a highly requested topic, and I understand why it's scary out there when you're trying to start a business and you want to make sure that all of your blood, sweat, and tears are not for naught, right? You want to make sure that you're able to protect and grow your business the right way. So that way, as you do grow and you become hot thing with your candle business, that you have literally everything in place. Everything is straightforward and everything is lined up and you are good to go. So again, until next time, bye.